My girlfriend got plastic surgery and belittled me at the gym. I'm flirting with other men, and I'll keep doing it. If you don't like it, leave. So I cleared out all her stuff from the apartment, while she kept screaming, insulting, and humiliating me. My name is Steven, 33 years old, and I have been in a relationship for 6 years with my girlfriend Daisy, who is 29. We met when she was 23 and I was 27. From the beginning I liked her because she was a calm, reserved person, even a little shy, but at the same time very sweet and attentive. We had many things in common: music, going for walks, watching quiet movies at home, traveling to nearby towns from time to time. Nothing too extravagant, but we always enjoyed being together. During all this time, our relationship was stable and beautiful. I am not going to say it was perfect because nobody is, but I always felt that there was trust, respect, and affection. She was never a person who sought a lot of attention. Quite the opposite. She always preferred to dress simply, wear little makeup, and keep a small social circle, mine and her family's. Sometimes I myself told her that she did not have to be so reserved, that she could dare to do more, but she would answer that she felt good that way, that she did not like to be the center of anything. But all that began to change a little over a year ago. Daisy decided to have some cosmetic procedures done. First, it was something small, a skin procedure that I really did not even notice until she mentioned it to me. Then came something more obvious, a rhinoplasty. After that, she decided on a breast augmentation. I was never against it. On the contrary, I told her that if it made her feel more confident and happy, then she had my full support. I always repeated to her that to me she was beautiful as she was, but I also understood that everyone has insecurities and that if she wanted to invest in herself, it was fine. The thing is that along with those changes, she also started to hang out with new friends, a group of women she met at the gym she joined after the surgery. At first, I thought it was positive because she had never had a group of close friends, and I saw her excited, wanting to go out more. I am not a jealous person, and I even thought it was good for her to have her own space beyond me. What I did not expect was the personality change she was going to have. That shyness that always characterized her practically disappeared. She began to dress in a much more daring way when she went out with them, to take many photos for social media, and, what surprised me the most, to have attitudes that I can only describe as flirting with other people, especially men. The first time I noticed something strange was at a birthday party of one of my friends to which I invited Daisy. She looked spectacular in a tight dress. From the moment we arrived, I saw that several men were looking at her, which is normal because my girlfriend has always been attractive. What made me uncomfortable was the way she responded to those looks. Prolonged smiles, fixed gazes, and sometimes she even initiated conversation with strangers in a way I had never seen in her. At one point, while I was talking to another friend, I saw her at the table laughing at a comment that a guy we did not know had made to her. He was clearly flirting with her, and what hurt me was that not only did she not stop him, but she seemed to be playing along. When we left that party, I did not say anything. I told myself that maybe I was misinterpreting things, that I did not have to create a problem, but it was not an isolated case. In the following months, I saw her repeat those attitudes in different situations, at the gym, with waiters in restaurants, at social gatherings, always with that smile, with those jokes, with that energy that honestly seemed more like that of a single person seeking attention than that of a person in a stable relationship of years. I could not keep what I was feeling to myself anymore, so one day I decided to talk to her. We were at home relaxing after dinner, and I told her directly, "Daisy, I need to talk to you about something that makes me uncomfortable." She looked at me seriously, as if expecting the worst. I explained that I had noticed how lately she was flirting with other people and that it made me feel bad. I gave her concrete examples without raising my voice, just trying to express how it made me feel. Her first reaction was to laugh a little, as if she found it exaggerated. Then she told me, "Flirting, love. I am not flirting, I am just being friendly, more sociable. I do not want to be that shy girl from before. I like it when people look at me and say nice things, but it does not mean anything. You are my partner, and that does not change." I replied that I understood her need to feel confident and more extroverted, but that there was a line between being friendly and giving the wrong signals to others. I told her that I thought it was a lack of respect towards our relationship and towards me. After a while of conversation, she agreed that maybe she was getting carried away and promised me that she would be more careful. The problem is that she did not stop. Maybe she toned it down a little at first, But over time, she went back to the same thing, and it became more and more evident to me. A few days ago, for example, we went out to dinner with her group of new friends and some of their acquaintances. The whole night, she was chatting with a guy who was clearly interested in her. I was sitting there, watching how she touched his arm while laughing at what he said. She did not push him away or create distance. On the contrary, she seemed to enjoy it. When we got home, I mentioned it to her again, and she told me the same old thing, that I was exaggerating, that she was just being sociable, that she did not see anything wrong with it. And that is where I start to feel confused, because on one hand I understand that people change, that she is not the same shy girl from before. Maybe she is enjoying a different stage of her life, but on the other hand it hurts me to feel that she is disrespecting me, that she is putting at risk what we have built over 6 years just to feed her ego with the attention of others. I have reached the point of questioning if the problem is me. Am I being too controlling? Am I seeing flirting where there is none? Or has she really changed so much that she no longer cares how she makes me feel? What hurts me the most is that I remember how she was before. That person who seemed to be happy with me, who did not need validation from anyone else. Now I look at her, and I wonder if I am still enough for her. I am also worried that this change is irreversible, that Daisy is no longer the woman I fell in love with, but someone different. Because it is one thing to grow together, to evolve as a couple, and another for one of the two to take a completely different path. I have tried not to obsess over the issue, but the truth is that it stays in my head. At every outing, in every social situation, I am waiting for that moment when she laughs too much with someone else again, accepts too much closeness, gives the impression that she is available, and I do not want to become a watchman or a jealous person who ruins the relationship with constant reproaches. I do not know what to do. Update. I read every one of the comments on my previous post, and I must confess that many of them hurt me. Almost all of them agreed in calling me a doormat, a man without character, or someone without balls for allowing my girlfriend to treat me that way. At first it was hard for me to accept, because nobody wants to see themselves as someone weak or submissive. But the more I read, the more I realized they were right. I had been justifying Daisy's behavior for months, trying to convince myself that I was exaggerating or that the problem was my perception, but in reality, I was tolerating something that made me feel humiliated. And the worst part is that she knew it and did nothing to change it. After a couple of days of thinking about all this, I decided that I had to talk to her seriously, no longer in a calm tone, no longer as someone who just expresses feelings, but as a man who demands respect in his own relationship. That opportunity came one afternoon, just as she was getting ready to go to a party with her friends. From the moment I entered the room and saw her in front of the mirror, putting on a short and tight dress, my blood was boiling. Not because she could not dress as she wanted, but because I already knew exactly how the night was going to end, with her laughing, letting herself be flirted with, and disregarding any boundary I set for her. I said to her, "Daisy, we need to talk before you go." She did not even turn around. She continued putting on her makeup. "What is it now?" she replied with an impatient tone. I took a deep breath and let it all out at once. "I am tired of this. I asked you calmly to respect our relationship. I asked you to stop flirting with others, and you ignored it. It is not a misunderstanding anymore. It is not me exaggerating anymore. It is obvious what you are doing, and I am fed up." She put her makeup down on the table and turned to me. She had a cold, almost defiant look. "And what do you want me to do, Stephen?" she said, crossing her arms. "I want you to stop," I answered. "I want you to understand that you are in a relationship and that your attitudes hurt me. I am not going to continue with someone who acts as if she were single." That is when she stopped hiding. "Do you want the truth?" "Yes, I am flirting, and I am going to keep doing it." "Do you know why?" "Because now I am pretty. Now they turn to look at me. Now I am on another level, and I am not going to waste the opportunity to enjoy it. If you do not like it, then leave. Nobody is forcing you to be with me." I felt as if I had been punched in the stomach. For 6 years I had been with her, supporting her in everything, accompanying her in her insecurities. And now she was telling me to my face that she had leveled up and that I had to put up with it. I tried to stay calm, but I could not help but raise my voice a little. "Do you hear what you are saying? You are not talking like someone in a relationship. You are talking like a selfish person who only thinks about her vanity. So, everything we built means nothing." She just shrugged. "Look, Stephen, if it bothers you so much, leave. I am going out. And just so you know, I am not sleeping here tonight. She grabbed her purse, put on some perfume, and walked out the door as if nothing had happened. I was left alone in the apartment with a mixture of anger, sadness, and a clarity I had never had before. She herself had told me that if I did not like it, I should leave, and that is what I decided to do, but I was not going to leave with half a backpack. No, we had furnished that apartment practically between the two of us, but I had bought the vast majority of the things. So I made a radical decision. That very night, I was going to empty the place. I started by packing a suitcase with my clothes and the most personal things, documents, computer, some important memories. I loaded it into my car, but I soon realized that not everything I wanted to take would fit. Then I thought of my friend Sam. Sam is the kind of friend who never fails. I met him years ago at work, and although we do not see each other daily, he is always available when I need him. Besides, he has a moving truck because he does loading work, so I called him. "What is up, Stephen?" he answered with his half-asleep voice. "Sam, I need a huge favor." I quickly explained the situation, that I had broken up with Daisy, that I needed to get everything out of the apartment as soon as possible, and that I could not do it alone. He did not hesitate for a second. "Give me half an hour, and I will be there with the truck." And he did. In less time than I imagined, he was parked in front of the building with that huge jalopy he uses for work. He got out, gave me a quick hug, and said, "Well, let us get to it." That night was crazy. Between the two of us, we loaded everything. Furniture, appliances, boxes, even the pictures on the wall. It took us several hours, but we did it. The truck was full. I only left 3 things in the apartment: an old sheet spread out on the floor, a half-finished bottle of water, and a piece of stale bread I found in the kitchen. It was not a coincidence, it was a message. If she thought she could treat me as someone expendable, then she should enjoy the comfort that was left without me. Nothing. When I finished, I closed the door and left the keys stuck in the lock on the outside. I did not want another second of responsibility for that place. Sam followed me to my car. He was exhausted, but with that smile of satisfaction that only a true friend can give you when they help you close a chapter. "You did the right thing, brother," he told me. "It was about time you stood up for yourself." We said goodbye, and I drove to a small apartment that I had set aside a couple of weeks ago, because deep down I already feared that this was going to end badly. I spent the night there with a peace that I had not felt for months. Right now I am writing this. It is 8 in the morning the next day, and I still have not received a single call or message from Daisy. I know she went out partying last night and said she was not going to sleep at home, so maybe she has not even noticed what I did. I have no idea how she will react when she arrives and finds the apartment empty with only a sheet, water, and a piece of bread waiting for her. Maybe she will call me full of fury. Maybe she will try to justify herself, or maybe she will just block me and pretend I do not exist. The only thing I know is that I do not regret it. For the first time in a long time, I feel that I respected myself. And if I learned anything from all this, it is that you cannot force someone to value you. If that person does not want to do it, then the best thing is to pack your things and leave. When she contacts me, if she does, I will come here to update. A couple of days have passed since what I told in my last post, and as I promised, I am back to tell you how Daisy reacted after finding the apartment. In the previous post, I said that at 8 in the morning, she had not called me yet. Well, just 2 hours later, while I was finally managing to get some sleep in the new place, the phone started ringing nonstop. It was 10 in the morning, and, half asleep, I answered. The first thing I heard was a scream on the other end of the line. "What the expletive did you do, Stephen? Are you crazy? You are a bastard. Where are all my things?" Still with a sleepy voice, I answered her calmly, almost enjoying the moment. "Calm down, Daisy. I left you everything that belongs to you there. A very comfortable little bed, a bottle of water, and a piece of bread in case you get hungry." There was a silence for a couple of seconds, followed by a scream of frustration. "You are sick. You are stealing my things. You are a bastard. Tell me where you are, because you are going to see. I am going to tell Lois and Joan all about this." To give context, Lois and Joan are her older brothers, very protective of her. They have always treated her like the baby of the family, and I knew she was going to use them as a shield. "Tell them whatever you want," I replied without getting upset. "But stop playing the victim. You yourself said that if I did not like it, I should leave. And I did." She kept screaming. Between insults, she kept repeating that I had left her with nothing, that I was being an abuser, that I had abandoned her. At one point, she even threw out the threat, I am going to sue you for theft and for abandonment of the home." That made me laugh. I confess, not because I did not take her seriously that she might try something legal, but because I knew perfectly well that she had nothing to stand on. "Abandonment of the home," I answered mockingly. "We are not married, Daisy. We do not even live in a place with a contract in your name. The apartment was in my name, and I bought most of the things. If you want, I can send you the receipts so you can see." She was quiet for a moment, but then she immediately went on the attack again. "Even so, you are robbing me." "That was my house too. The only thing I did was take what is mine," I replied. "And if you really want to make a drama out of your things, I will give you the equivalent in money, so you stop whining. But do not come to me with stories of lawsuits because you have no legal basis." That enraged her even more. She started yelling nonsense, insulting me, saying that I was going to regret it. I simply remained silent while she vented. Finally, she hung up with it, "This is not going to end like this." From then on, several days of threats began. She would send me messages at any hour saying that she was going to report me, that her brothers were going to come looking for me, that she was going to make sure I was left with nothing. I had already anticipated some of this, so the first thing I did was talk to my friend Sam, the one who helped me with the move, and ask him to keep the truck in his private storage for a few days with the things inside. Until I saw how everything was resolved, I was not going to put my furniture in the new apartment. Meanwhile, every message from Daisy was more desperate. One day she wrote to me, "Lois already knows what you did. You will see when you run into him." The next day it was, "I am already talking to a lawyer. What you did is called theft, and then I am going to go to the police to file a complaint against you." I did not respond most of the time. Only when she became too insistent I would answer something like, "Do what you have to do, Daisy," or "Just stop making things up. Everything I have is in my name." The reality is that I knew she was trying to intimidate me, to see if I would get scared and come running back to give her everything she wanted. But every time I read her messages, instead of feeling fear, I felt more firm in my decision. A couple of days later, Lois, her older brother, finally called me. "Hey, Stephen, what the hell happened with my sister?" he said in a harsh voice. I told him my side of the story briefly and clearly. That Daisy had changed, that she was constantly flirting with other men in front of me, that she told me to my face that if I did not like it I should leave, and that is what I did, that everything in the apartment I bought, and that I was not going to stay in a place where I was being disrespected. There was an uncomfortable silence on the other end of the line. Then Lois said, "Look, I am not going to get involved in your relationship, but understand that she is very upset. She says you left her on the street." "I did not leave her on the street," I replied. "I left the apartment empty because I took what was mine." "Yes, but she has a job, she has her family, she has a place to stay. Do not come to me saying she is a victim because she is not." "Well, that is between you two. I am just telling you that I do not want problems with my family." We hung up without another word. And since then, curiously, Lois has not called me again. The following days continued the same. Hateful messages, threats, calls in the middle of the night, but no real action. A lawsuit notification never arrived. The police never came. A lawyer never appeared. It was all empty words. The saddest thing of all is that with each passing day, it became more evident that she did not miss me as a person, but the comforts I had given her. She was not crying because she lost me. She was crying because she was left without furniture, without a TV, without the comfortable lifestyle we had built together. And that is when I finally opened my eyes. For a long time I blamed myself. I thought I was exaggerating, that I was too sensitive, but seeing her reaction, her real anger was not about love, but about material things. That confirmed that I had made the best decision. Right now, as I write this, only a few days have passed since I emptied the apartment. She continues to send messages, alternating insults with attempts at manipulation. Sometimes she writes to me, "You are the worst thing that ever happened to me," and the next day, "We could talk. I do not understand why you make everything so difficult." I am not falling for the game. Not anymore. I am at peace in my new place, slowly unpacking my things and organizing my life again. I have talked a lot with Sam and with other friends, and they all agree that I did the right thing, that I respected myself before continuing to sink into a relationship that was beyond repair. I do not know if Daisy will continue to try to find me, or if she will get tired soon. What I do know is that I have no intention of going back. The trust was broken a long time ago, and what she did in the last few days finished proving to me that there was nothing left to salvage. If I can say anything to anyone who reads this and is going through something similar, it is this. When someone shows you who they really are, believe them. Do not stay waiting for them to change or to go back to being the person you knew. If they do not respect you, they are not going to wake up one day and magically do so. For now, I will remain firm, and if any real legal consequences arise, I am prepared because I have nothing to hide. Update. A few days have passed since the last time I wrote, and I think this will be my last update on everything that happened with Vanessa. It turns out that in the end Lois, her brother, was more sensible than her. I do not know if it is because he understands reality better or because he simply did not want to be dragged into all her drama, but he spoke with his sister and convinced her that the best thing was to reach an agreement. No lawsuits, no scandals, no getting more people involved. The proposal was simple, that I return a proportional part of what she had put in for the furniture, because although it is true that I paid for most of the things, it is also true that we had bought some things together. And well, being honest, it was no trouble for me to close that chapter by giving her some money. I agreed, but not because I was afraid of her or because I felt guilty. I did it because I did not want any more calls, more threats, or more insults. I did not want her to continue stealing my peace of mind, so I told Lois that I agreed. We met in a public place to avoid any ridiculous scene. She arrived with Lois, and from the moment she saw my face, she started with the same old insults. You are a bastard, an envious person, not much of a man, and you are going to pay for all of this you did. I just looked at her in silence. I had a slight smile because inside I found it funny how she could spend so much energy on hating, on spitting venom, when all I wanted was to end this once and for all. I gave her the money in cash, the fair amount for the part she put in. He received it, counted it, and nodded. You could tell that he just wanted to finish the matter too. She, on the other hand, continued with her show, repeating the same old insults, as if she thought that with her words she could hurt me or make me feel less, but she did not succeed. I simply remained quiet with that calm smile, looking at her like someone watching a person who still does not understand that they no longer have power over you. In the end, they turned around and left. Lois with a look of relief, she still muttering things under her breath. And I felt free. For the first time in months, I felt that I had nothing to do with her anymore. I had not felt that mixture of tranquility and lightness since before everything fell apart. I know I still have personal work to do, that I have to heal wounds, that I will have to learn to be more careful when choosing who I share my life with. But the truth is that today I am better. I took a huge weight off my shoulders and closed the door forever. And that smile I had when I saw her insulting me, I still have it because it means she no longer has power over me.